Hey, it's Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Everything You Need to Know About Cannabis show. And I'm here in beautiful Inglewood at the Accelerated Radio Studios. Accelerated Radio. This is the Green Believers and everything you need to know. Check us out at thegreenbelievers.com. And every week we come to you, Cheryl and Whitey, and our true crime stories, our guest speakers, to educate, engage, mobilize, agitate a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
We're here.
That's a tiny bit.
We're here for you,
bit.
okay?
Yes, as we make our way through this cannabis licensing process. So welcome, everybody. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
In a minute, I missed you guys.
I know, huh? We were off last week. I had to do some of my day job. You know, I had to get my pound of flesh.
Oh, okay.
Because cannabis still isn't paying what it should be paying, but we're staying the course. So we were working, and Whitey was traveling around the world, right?
Wow, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back today. And what an exciting week it's been. Check out our website, thegreenbelievers.com. And the latest updates are there about what's happening in the Los Angeles legal cannabis market. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to hear it directly from the community, the voices, the real voices of the social equity community in LA. And we're going to talk about our books, and we're going to, kind of just, educate and inform everybody about, what's happening here. So recently, there was an article published, because everybody knows we're in phase 3 of the licensing process in Los Angeles, which is the retail phase. And they did round 1, and we got 100 applicants, and a lot of them's names, first and last, don't quite look like the people that we were told harmed by the war on drugs, right? From the 1980s and 90s. I mean, unless, something happened. So I'm here to keep with all open ears.
IAN. That seems to be the suffix of all the names that they're putting out there.
Yeah, I remember Tyrone and them. That's who I remember. I remember Tyrone, Alex.
Yeah, the Johnsons and the Browns.
The Johnsons and the Browns, the Robertsons.
Yeah.
So something happened there. We don't know yet. It's just the jury's still out. The city's under audit. But we thought we'd bring in some voices from the community, really relevant. The guest we have on today, Mr. Raven Woods, he is one of the gold ticket winners. He was in the top 100. So that was, that alone is an accomplishment in terms of how he navigated his way to
that
the
makes
top
him
of
a
the
celebrity.
list. That makes him a celebrity, absolutely. And we're glad that he's part of our group, and that he shares his story with us, keeps us accountable. And we wanted to invite him in today to kind of tell us, how are you doing? The rumors are that the city should just push everybody through, and we wanted to see, what did you think, what's your number? Number 43. What did you think, number 43? Introduce yourself, Raven.
Yes, my name is Raven Woods, and yes, I am applicant number 43. I was fortunate and blessed to receive that number. I was feeling like, at the time when I got it, hey, okay, let me sit back and just take this in. And when I started showing up at some of the meetings, I realized how fortunate I was, because most of the people there were kind of perturbed about the process and how it went down. And like Cheryl was saying, how some of those, majority of the candidates actually don't look like us. At that point, I decided to team up with the people that did look like me and that were disgruntled, rightfully so. And I waited. Each time I would wait for them to speak, and then I would come up later to the mic and say, hey, I'm not disgruntled. I was fortunate and favored. However, you did the process wrong. I didn't want the city council, the mayor's office, DCR to feel like everybody was mad because they didn't get the license, because that would have been totally false. Wrong is wrong, right is right. They should have done it a little different. They should have allowed us to possibly have the process go on, and then once we got the invoices, for us to be able to pick and choose the investors that we want to be with. And I'm saying that from experience, because I actually end up getting with investors that didn't have my sole benefit, that this just wasn't their thoughts process wasn't based on me and my success. It was based on them and their success, and that's been the protocol for most of these what we call predatorial investors. It's a $1 billion, $1 trillion industry, so it should not be a surprise that this stuff is going on and been going on forever, as long as we're in the United States. And we often get the short end of the stick. Right now, we're trying to make sure that that's not the case. Having gotten the invoice, I should be standing on top of a mountain somewhere, just screaming and yelling and just praising and thanking God. And I'm doing that anyway in my own way. However, anything worth having, most of the time we got to fight for it. And this time my hope is that we form an alliance instead of be our own adversaries. And because if we stand together, then there's no way that we're going to come out of this shorthanded this time. The process is taking a little longer because it was done faulty. They had an independent audit go on. We're waiting for the results of that. My hopes as well is that they will let the 100 that were chosen be vetted, so that those that are in the process that shouldn't be are removed from the process, which will open up space for those who need to be. Don't know if that's going to happen, but what I do guarantee is if they let myself in, that I'm going to be the example of what a social equity applicant is supposed to look like and be like, in the sense of giving back to the community. I already was doing that before there was a such thing as social equity license. So it's just my purpose. And I thank Cheryl for inviting me. I thank Whitey for inviting me to this forum. Hopefully I'll be able to speak again when I'm not so shell-shocked, because this is not what I do.
Well, you did a great job. Clap, 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 clap for you. You did a great job.
I thought you were
appreciate that.
professional.
Yes, yes.
Well, let me break this down a little bit today. I've been gone for a while, and since I've been gone, a whole lot of different things popped up. And they came in saying that they want to vet 100 people. And we sat back saying that you guys does not come from the place that Whitey from Whitey's Enterprise came from and the rest of my homeboys came from. We sat back each day and we asked ourselves, what's going on? And everybody sat back and say, well, you guys being played a good hand out here. And I'm saying, no, the hand is what you guys playing right now is so misused and so distract for other people. Because I come from South Central LA, raised, born, played on the playground with everyone who looked like me, who talked like me, who act like me. And then I was here when there wasn't no Spanish dudes here. It was only 8 families on a whole neighborhood. So today when we sit back and we look at the showing or the picture or the pre-interpretation that they putting down in front of our eyes, and they telling us it's raining. But it's hot as hell because we don't feel no rain. Mm-hmm. We don't feel no water. And everybody keep on trying to act like the playing field is level for the people who come out of this neighborhood. It's true, we may have a sprinkle of a black person in the licenses. But at the end of the day, we as city council and the rest of them, which way are you guys really taking this to? Because we have no idea, because you guys keep on saying that it's for the people with the war on drugs or the people in the area that was affected by it in so many different ways. But when we look at the picture, we don't live in Bel Air. We don't live in Burbank. We don't live in Beverly Hills.
Sun
we do
Valley.
not live in Sun Valley. We do not live in Orange County. And I've been in jail for a whole lot of years. And I have not seen any of those faces walking the yard telling me, hey, man, it's going to be all right. The faces that I see is the faces that I seen while I was in jail. And they have walked on these yards, and now they are walking on the streets. And they saying, do we get an opportunity to play in the weed industry with the rest of the people? So we asked Cat Packer and the rest of the team who have built this industry the way they wanted to structure it for other people besides us. Because it was supposed to be a us thing and a you thing. It was supposed to be, we are supposed to be here to represent the people who was affected in the war on drugs. Now, let me break this down a little farther. If that was the case, it must be that white America and everybody else was in the war on drugs, but they just didn't go to jail.
Well, you're going to have to tell that story, Whitey. We waiting on you because that's what we suspect.
Yes, but
You know,
I'm
but I'm
getting
sure it
ready.
would be nice to get a tale or two out of this.
Yeah, it's a
corporate
tale
side
kind
of
A corporate side,
the
right?
corporate
The
side of
corporate
it,
side.
yeah.
Can we get the corporate side?
Well, right now, here we are today. We looking at each other. We look at Raven. Raven like, yeah, I'm in, but
But am I really?
I'm in. I'm gonna break it down for you, Raven. I'm in, but I'm not in, because white America told me I got to stand on the sideline and look, because they didn't have the opportunity to let you destroy their money, what they worked so hard for, or their mothers and parents used us as slaves to get what they needed. So here we are today saying, no more. We're not going to allow you to walk in South Central LA or any parts of LA and put our brothers in a loophole, and you guys tell them that they cannot come in their own stores to work their stores as owners when they own 51%. So here we are again. We asking the people who's in power, did you set the game plan up where someone with a lot of money can walk in and make us out of their slaves again?
Yep.
Do we got to be a part of this slavery act once again? We thought this happened in the 1700s. We in 2020, and this right here must stop. And each time someone say we playing fair, we got to ask yourself who you playing fair with.
Yes,
Because
yes.
We don't know nothing about no Armenians in South Central LA. We don't know nothing about no Persians in South Central LA. We know something about Armenians and Persians downtown LA in the Jury Mark where I used to play at. Now, let me tell you where I played at so we don't have a misunderstanding. I played with all the Persians, all the Turks, all the Iranians, and everyone with power. I played with them. And I did not see now one of them walking on 56th and Broadway, walking on 43rd and Main, walking in Compton or Inglewood. I have not never seen any of these people there, period. So we're going to break this down correctly. It's a myth if you continue to sit back and say that the white America or the wealthy America went to prison and they got a weed conviction. They a damn lie, because they ain't had no weed conviction and they never walked in the penitentiary. And what happened is this right here. They got some addresses 7 years ago because they owned so much of LA because LA walked away from it. The black brothers walked away from the neighborhood. And now they put Armenians and Persians in those addresses. And now they said, since we live in the poverty section of South Central LA, they was allowed to come in and get a license. Or they picked somebody off the curb and used them as a scapegoat to say, these people right here is worthy to have a license, but we're not going to let them benefit for anything they got coming for real. Because, again, they just a pawn on our table. And white America and rich America and whoever part of America is want to look down on the black people and say, nah, you guys cannot be in. This is not you guys' industry. But I'm saying to you guys now, in front of everybody and let the world scream it, we're not having this.
Well, we better act quickly because, thank you, Whitey. So that was the OG perspective. I want to add a little bit of
Break it
that
down for me,
textbook.
sis.
Textbook. May I please add a textbook?
Yeah.
So this week, March the 5th, the City Times, they published an article, and what they're arguing is that the 100 that were available, these are people that fit the social equity criteria, meaning that they had former cannabis convictions and or that they lived in these disproportionately impacted zip codes. And so when we look at the list of 100, there's 800 people on the list. The first 100, just the first 5 people above Raven's name are different, surnames, last names, first names that we don't recognize. And then the article goes on to say where Kat Packer says, well, if the city wants to expedite the process, it could do so. And that she thinks that these different parts, so there's the verification of your criminal conviction. Then there's the verification that you live in a zip code. right? And then there's verification that you actually have the resources to support a candidate. Some people, the predatory practices have been that they promised people they had money as an investor and they didn't really have it. They promised people that they had the money for the real estate and they didn't really have it. So that's up to 4 to 5 criteria that we have to vet. So when we say, no, we're not taking this, this is again the call to action that we gotta make phone calls, we're gonna have to email, we're gonna have to do more social media, and we're gonna have to show up for the next commission meeting at City Council.
Yeah.
Because the recommendation has come out of the commission that they recommend to the City Council that they go ahead and move forward and issue a temporary approval of those first 100 licenses. And that's what we're opposing. We're not opposed to the approval and the temporary license. We're not opposed to that. What we're opposed to is taking that step before they vet the 100. We want each one of those 100 to be thoroughly vetted.
Yeah.
And we can join the city in doing that.
Right.
Because they have the technical assistance funds. They have those of us who are working for free just because we believe in the mission. We're not getting paid right now. We're doing this. We're self-funded. So we would be there to assist the city and the commission to make sure that these individuals are who they say they are. Whitey just laid out a case. So we have reasonable doubt. We have concern. We have questions.
And we're gonna keep on having questions. We're gonna keep on voicing our opinion, because each day that I walk on in these neighborhoods and I look at the people from the neighborhood, I'm gonna demand them to be seen, and I'm gonna demand that the city council pay attention to what's going on, because if they keep on trying to tell us that it's raining and the sun is out, they confuse themselves, because we're not that dumb as black people.
Well, here's a couple of names. So Raven is number 43. And right above him is number 42. And who is this? Garrido. Some weird name, Garrido. And then you go up again, number 36, Zaduri. Palladino might be one of our Latino, Hispanic brothers or sisters. So I don't know. Josepian. Who are all these people?
I don't know where they came from.
All the
Everybody-
people that's at the
Who are
7-Eleven
these
and at the
people? Yes.
the liquor
I'm like,
store and
come
at the
on,
mom and pop
Artunian.
market, they don't live there. They just have little
Artunian,
businesses
come
there
on.
for a certain amount of time.
Again, it's what,
I'd like to know how they got. When did they get their cannabis conviction and where?
Cheryl, it always come down to this right here. If you can use reverse psychology on the people who don't pay attention to reverse psychology, you win.
Yeah.
And here you are, you sitting them here explaining in the way that you know how. Well, I'm gonna name drop, and when you see the name drops, and the black community look like, nah, they wasn't. We know everybody in this black community because we a real tight family. No matter what someone may say, yes, they say, oh, you guys gangbangers, but gangbangers know each other by name, first and last name, period. This the thing what they don't understand. We know each other. And when they sit back and say, Opino, nah, he don't come from here. He didn't come off of Crenshaw and 42nd Street.
No.
Well, he didn't come off Western. He didn't come off Normandy. And they can go on. He didn't come out of Watts Projects. Or we would know him by another name when they use that name. Oh, that's Joe Blow.
Right,
But this right here, what's going on right now in the city of Los Angeles is a myth. And Ray got the right face for the right show and to be in the right position to have a license, because he was compacted by the war on drugs. He went to jail for what he went to jail for, and he came home and he was number
43.
He was 43. It's like Ish. When we sit back and look at Ish 51. He deserved a license because
They
he
do.
looked like us. He
They
talked
do.
like
They've
us. He
been
walked
through
like
been
us.
through it. That's right.
So when we sit back and say the war on drugs, they just reversed it and said, this is not the war on drugs, it's welfare to the rich.
It is, and that's been going on for quite a while. And I think you're right. We're going to have to hold the line and challenge this process. So it's going to be going to council in a week or two, and you will hear from us through our website, and we're going to call you and we're going to invite you. If you need transportation assistance, we will probably even help you with that. Send a Lyft or Uber to come pick you up, because we need to have at least 50 people at City Council for this meeting. representing the community, the war on drugs, those directly impacted, our loved ones, our family members, our supporters, our fans, to come out and stand with us to say that this, if we let this go as is, then it's no longer a social equity program.
No, it's not.
It becomes something else. So this is our lives are on the line here.
I wouldn't be surprised if when you go to that meeting, the ball's always rolling towards letting these 100 get their foot in the door, and once there's any type of controversy to where they should come back out, it's going to be very hard to get them to rescind that grant that they give them. You know,
I agree.
It's gonna be
We
like
can't
at
be
least a
hard.
2 or
We
3
can't let that happen.
yeah.
We gotta stall the vote, stop the vote,
gonna be
interrupt
years.
the vote.
That just
we're
means
gonna have
that
to be
everybody
there.
has to show up in numbers.
Everybody has to show up, and we're gonna
You got to show up in numbers.
and we're gonna have to walk the halls in between. Like
Yeah.
next Tuesday, next Monday, we're gonna have to spend a half a day, meet up at the office, and have our little packets and just walk the halls for a few hours and visit all 15 offices. So before the council meets, we have showed up in their office to say, hey, we want to talk to you about this. We've put our priorities on the table. We support City Council, the executive team at DCR. They're working so hard. But there's other invisible hands at play. It's like that secret society you talk about. Whitey is for real all the way around. So we got to know where the enemy is. It's this secret hand, and we need to call it out. Come on, you need to contact us, and let's cut the deal.
Like
Can I say something right quick?
To say.
Yeah, go ahead, Raymond. Say
What my
something.
personal experience with this has been, they didn't have it set up correctly. And anytime you do something the first time, that's kind of to be expected. However, it doesn't give them the right excuse to not have someone like myself have technical assistance from the beginning, have legal representation from the beginning, have somebody looking out for my best interest, the social equity applicant, which
That's
represents
right.
the community, which represents us, which means I don't expect them to come to South Central and set up some school programs where none of the kids got to worry about backpacks, or where none of the people coming out of prison got to worry about how they're going to get a job at a dispensary. I don't expect them to do that, but I do expect us to do that. But if they don't give us the assistance, say I didn't know anything. Say I had a 6th grade education, which most people that go to prison, that's the average education that they got.
That's right.
Then it sets me up to find an investor that's definitely going to take advantage of me, because once again, how would he expect to get his money back by putting a $1 billion industry or a $1 million business in my hands and I can't read or write? I understand why he would be scared to do that. But if I had legal representation, if I had programs set up like Green Believers, if I had programs that were going to train me, guide me, and direct me before I even had to get an investor, then I would be set up for success. They
That's
set us
right.
up for failure from the beginning, knowingly or unknowingly. And then at the same time, they put me in a position to where I have to ask them questions that they still don't have answers to. Can I move my location if I lose it? Can I get another investor once I find out he's predatory? At this point, they're saying hands off. We're not going to deal with that right now because they got so much else that they're dealing with. But they still are leaving me in a jeopardizing situation.
So I'll say something about that. Like
Man.
I sat back at the event the other day, Raven, and I explained to him that DCR put you guys in a bad position. Once they sat back and told everyone that you're gonna have control over 51% of your place, but at the end of the day, you don't have any money. So what we really are doing is going to the wealthy people in America and bringing them down to South Central LA, and they're gonna put you guys in a work position, a welfare position. But this is not a welfare program.
Right.
This program is a program for you guys to benefit for generational wealth.
Generational wealth, that's correct.
Very, very long time. And if they allow the other wealthy people to come down, that means you guys don't have no wealth coming, period.
They set it up to where if you sign the contracts most of the time without having an attorney, just say I was one of them people. I'm signing something to tell them to say, until you get all your money back, that you've invested until you get everything you're trying to get. I don't get a penny unless you give me a bud tender job in my own establishment. It also sets me up for something like, and this is exactly what happened to me, them not even want to talk to me until I actually won the invoice. And then all of a sudden I'm your best friend. You want to talk to me all day, every day. You know, but prior to that, I can't get you on the telephone. I can't get you to take me from being on GR and Section 8 to help me build better my life, because you really don't value me as a person. So we should have been able to find people that really cared about our community. And if you care about our community, then you care about me, because I'm a part of the community. And you allow me to set up some of the programs that I know is beneficial to my people, not what you think. Because what you think is beneficial doesn't mean that's what's beneficial to us.
That's correct.
Because you don't even know us, and you don't even care about us.
That's correct.
And I'm not saying that all people of any color are a certain way, but what I am saying is when a system is set up to not help me succeed, then you're set up to help me fail. You know, and at the end of the day, I get asked to be bought out after the end of 2 years, and you throw me some crumbs and say, well, without us, you wouldn't even have got that, nigga. Excuse my language.
You're correct. So each time when I sit back and have this conversation
Terrible.
with the people
It's
don't
terrible.
like how I say things, but I don't give a damn how they accept what I'm saying. I'm telling the rest of the people as a whole that anytime you walk in this business, it's $1 trillion business in the next 10 years. And right now they trying to find a way to kick you guys completely out of it. And as I told the people on the Mike and Donnie show, we only want 25% of this industry. We ain't asking for 75%. We want 25%. So our children and their children will be in this business just like the wealthy people is in this business. And if we could do that, we're doing a good job. That's why the Green Believers and Whitey's Enterprise is so on the spot with everybody, trying to make sure that everybody gonna get a piece of this pie in some kind of way. And we're gonna teach you guys what you guys need to know. Technical assistance really come in here. And we look at the city and they say, we're gonna give you guys technical assistance. We're saying great, because phase 1 don't have it. Phase 2 don't have it. Phase 3 is coming up. If they come and meet us in the right manner, we can help a whole lot of black people
That's right.
be successful in this field, because a whole lot of white people, green people, yellow people, they have no idea what they getting ready to deal with. And the people in Green Believers, Whitey's Enterprise, we've been in this game for a very, very, very long time. And we can tell you the hurdles that you're going to get ready to come up against. As you've been in the game, you understand without money, it don't work. Just look at the world right today. This disease running around. The water company have made $1 billion overnight because they understood they was in position to succeed. This is what the Green Believers trying to do for everybody out here. We trying to put you guys in the right position. So when you guys walk in your store, the ATF not going to come in. The DEA ain't coming in. The local police not coming in, because we're going to teach everybody compliance.
The
And if-
BCC, the state, we still got to look out for the state and the taxes.
everything.
The tax planning. I so agree, Whitey.
And this industry is
So
going
agree.
nowhere. It's like this is like prohibition all over again. You know, the Kennedys were bootleggers and moonshiners. They ended up becoming presidents and senators.
Of
I was
course.
in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and they had a big convention, which they often do. They had over 3,000 booths of different vendors. Maybe 10 of them was black, right? And that's the norm. I'm seeing the 10, and I'm like, wow, we got somebody here. I'm surprised.
right.
But this is an industry where if we don't get in, once again, we're the biggest consumers on the face of the earth. So that's all they want us to be, is consumers. They don't want us to be owners and operators. You know, they don't want us to be entrepreneurs, because then we get to teach our kids and our kids' kids, and then we get to take our seat really at the table. Our biggest problem is the reason they used to, remember they were shooting our young black cats for this every other day. It seemed like somebody was getting killed and then was being exonerated. That's because we don't have any money backing us. They can't do that to the Jews. They can't do that to other races because they got money backing them. If we get some money backing us, they can't do it to us either.
Raven, I'm going to say this to you, and I think you understand.
We working
this.
on it. We
Look,
working. We working on it.
You are in a position, because you know some friends of some friends and some friends, that if we find the people who need help and we understand them and they want to be at this table, the black community can help each other.
That's right.
And when the black community step up and help each other, it's all right, because the Persian and Armenian, that's money from Russia, from Iran, Iraq. And if they're going to sit back and accept that money in America, terrorist money and other kind of money, and they sit back and they look at the black community and have one idiot to say anything to the black community, something is terrible wrong with that picture, because they saying that they don't love America. While black America is saying we love America with every being in our body, and we're going to try to make sure that the money that we make stay in the community and in America.
And we
if
buy
can
American
do that,
products,
we're
right?
going to buy America.
We're gonna buy
We're gonna
America.
grow
We already
America.
do. We already do. We grow it.
already
We
bought
support
it.
this
We bought it
place.
on our backs.
We bought it already, and this one we're gonna keep fighting for it, right?
You know,
Every day we're going to fight. We're
We're
going
gonna
to fight
keep fighting
and
for
fight
this.
and fight.
I
So
remember-
Mayor Garcetti, we coming to visit you. I know you listening. One of your people listening today.
somebody
City
hearing all of this.
Council, right? Cannabis Commission. We coming to see y'all. We gonna come in our suit and ties and our good manners, because manners are always in style, right?
They got people coming from all over the world to California to exploit us.
Yes,
A lot of these people that
yes.
are getting these numbers, like Whitey was saying, they have certain faces in front, but really some of these people, they never stepped a foot in California until this thing became popular. I remember sitting in a group of like 20 applicants, and some guys was out here from Colorado, and they were asking everybody in the group, okay, if we get you a dispensary license, what would you do to affect the community positively? So everybody was saying what they would do. You know, if you give me a license, I'll do this. You give me a license, I'll do that. I waited purposely for the last person, which was me, to speak. And I pulled out my phone and I started showing them what I'm already doing. I'm housing homeless people. I'm getting people out of prison jobs. You know, I'm helping pick victims of domestic violence. I'm doing these things. I'm helping people get off drugs. But because I didn't want them to think that because you've given me something, that's going to make me become somebody. No, I already am somebody.
Yes.
And so when I got the invoice, the first thing I asked God, I said, man, you already been preparing me for this. Because this is giving me money now to where I don't got to ask nobody for me to help somebody else. I don't got to ask for a grant. I don't got to ask for a loan. I don't got to get the city council to give me money to open up a daycare center or something to help my own people. And so that's what I'm pissed about, because here it is, a perfect opportunity for those who think alike to do something for ourselves, and you trying to say, no, we still don't want you to do something for yourself. We saying we don't even want to ask you no more. Just give us what ours, because you don't want 1,000 Nat Turners running around here. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's the whole thing. And I sit back and I speak
That's right.
my mind, and I have no problem, because everybody say, Whitey, how can you sit back and say what you say? And I tell them, I'm Whitey. I have no problem saying what I say, because if I had a license, let me stop. I gave a license back because I felt God didn't want me to have the license the other day.
Yeah,
and the
we
brothers
did.
looked at me like, Whitey, you about to give these licenses back to us with no repercussions? I said, I don't think God want me to have these licenses. And I think you guys need these licenses more than me, because it's just some money. And if you can go to sleep walking away from me from the deeds that I did for you, you should go to sleep feeling real good, because I'm on my way to Jamaica and I feel damn good. You know, and I'm not running around here like everybody else pretending that I want to help. I help every brother who walk in the Green Believers or walk in the C. Whitey's Enterprise.
We have 81 Tier 1, Tier 2 candidates. That means they have a cannabis conviction in our database. They've come to our office, filled out an application. We had 25 that were pre-vetted, like Raymond. 25 people, and 5 that we actually were able to help get an application in with no money down.
No money.
No
at all.
money down. So we helped 5 people. None of those people made the list because we didn't have the technology. So we did. We learned something. We ate a little humble pie. We sat around. We had to own that. You know, we weren't prepared on that level. We're ready now. We understand the role of technology, and we've got the best talent to help us get through that, hardware and software. But the sad part is when Raven, who's still a part of our community, when he contacted us, I made it. I'm so excited. We sit down, we start talking and planning, and then boom, he's hit this wall. There's no way for us to give him the full support that he needs. He needs to be coached on, like you said, this investor that he has, the real estate deal, the lease that he had, it needed to be edited because the kind of investors, the kind of lease agreements, they're special deals. This isn't the deal for every investor or fund that has the money. It's a special kind of deal, what you talked about, because there's a certain amount of sharing and equity. And there's certain types of community reinvestments.
$20,000 a month for a
20,000.
location that probably is worth $10,000 a month. And I did the math. $20,000 a month, they would be owning a million. Well, the people are asking $1,900,000 for the property. They bought it for $950,000 a couple years prior, right? So they can't get any bank backing because the bank's not going to put no money behind something like that. But if I pay $20,000 a month, they'll own that property in 8 years. Off of my money, and it's coming out of my part of my 51%. So
that's a horrible deal. Like no man in his right mind would have not allowed me to sign nothing like that. No, we're not signing that. Exactly.
That's the whole part.
No way. So that's the kind of work we got to do.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing that it insult my intelligence, because I done sit back and talk with some attorneys in this field, and they start talking to me, and I realized at that point that they ain't smarter than me. Because I sit back, I got some real estate stuff and some paralegal stuff where I was. And I'm damn good at it because I got 147 dudes out of the penitentiary and put them on these bricks with me. And they sit back and give me a high five every time they see me, saying, thank you, bro, for getting a life sentence off me. And this right here is so easy to me, where when I looked at you, I said, Ray, you can't let people dominate you and have control over something that is yours. But we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to something where we're gonna understand it. That I'm asking Pat Cacker to put this in consideration. How is you gonna sit back in this world that we live in and tell us that we own 51% of a company, but you can let some wealthy people walk in and say they got control over the company who own 49%. So somebody need to be checked right away.
They don't think we understand math or how to construct a deal. It's ridiculous. Some of the stories I've heard, Ray, yours is bad, but not as bad as some of the others. They were really, really horrible. So that's what we're trying to protect,
God has humbled me a whole lot. That's why I really like Green Believers, because of your base, right? But I'm going to tell you, in the past, the things that these dudes have said to me, I would probably be hiding out somewhere right now. You know what I mean? Even if not hiding out from myself, because I think I'm smart enough to get away with some stuff these days. I just don't choose to live that way spiritually.
That's right.
But talking to me like I'm a boy, and you, man, do you understand?
Lock the door moment right there.
Do you understand? You really don't understand.
We understand.
We understand.
We know,
but God took care of it, and He's taking care of it. So I'm just saying, you know what? Thank you for keeping me humble enough to see you work. Because until I see you, I'm so hard-headed, I can't believe nothing. And then once I see you, though, you can't tell me no different. And so that's where I'm at with this. And I believe that God is also going to allow us to walk through this process with dignity, pride, and get what we got coming.
That's
because if we don't, the opposite is really terrible.
Yeah.
It's
the fight of our lives, guys.
There's no such thing a failure when you already standing up and having to fight.
Yep.
Failure when you just lay on the cold ground and surrender.
That's right.
And as long as you guys around me in any kind of way, I'm not gonna let you lay on no cold ground. I'm gonna kick you a couple times till you get up, man. It's time for the fight, because the fight must go on, because so many years we done fought so hard against each other.
Yeah.
How is it not possible for us to fight 100 times harder against somebody that who don't really like us, period.
You said about that concrete. I was homeless for a long time, but I never slept on the street. I was either in a jail cell or a hotel by the end of the night, because my mind wouldn't allow me to do it. I thought I would build the biggest, best cardboard aluminum condo in the world, have wheels on it, have some plastic covering it, be hooked up to your electricity, and be able to fold it up in the morning and put it in a briefcase. And so I just couldn't lay down, because I thought that I would be able to adapt too well. But the other part of that scenario is I constantly said to myself when I was incarcerated, because I did 15 years. It's not more than everybody, but it was enough for me. That's enough for me to equate with anybody that ever been anywhere, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so I say to them, when I got there, I said, dang, I am not even mad at the system because I was guilty. And I'm just glad they didn't get me for everything that I did. And I said, you know what, let me pull my head out of my butt so I don't have to repeat this process because I'm my own problem. And if I
Yes.
if I hustle
Wow.
as hard doing the right thing as I was doing the wrong thing, there's nothing that can stop me.
Right.
And so I'm glad
Right.
I'm here with you guys because I see in y'all's faces me. And when I say who look like me,
That's right.
I'm
Raven.
looking in your eyes and your soul. You could be my color. It don't mean that you really look like me all the time.
Hey,
Yes,
Right,
Green
right.
You know,
Believers.
it's like everybody sit back and ask this question of themselves. Is I'm worthy of what I got coming? And I'm telling you right now and tell every brother who got an opportunity, you worthy of more than you think. If you understand your wealth, you understand that you is the king of your world. And when you be the king of your world, you're going to bring everybody up with you.
That's right.
And you're going to enjoy all the fruits that you putting out there for them to eat. And if you continue to do right by God and yourself, God's going to take care of you in the right manner. So each time I look at you, I just be smiling like, you got it. If you didn't get it, now you got it. Because you're not supposed to allow a man from somewhere else to come in here and misuse you. Like you just to be, for you to be used by anybody for anything. When we did those 4 o'clock counts, we was being misused.
Man.
But today we not doing 4 o'clock counts. We sitting here looking at each other in the eyes
Okay,
saying,
what's the 4
I
o'clock
challenge,
count?"
I challenge you. You know,
That was the
I
4
challenge
o'clock
you.
count.
I challenge you
Wow.
to be everything you supposed to be and some more. And each time I look at you, Ray, I just know it in my heart of hearts that you are understanding, that you are ready to take the challenge at hand. So, Cheryl, let me tell you what 4 o'clock
Okay, what's the
count is.
4? Okay, y'all don't laugh, nobody.
No,
don't
don't worry
laugh.
about it. When you
gonna explain it?
when you walk in the penitentiary, they wake you up for 5 o'clock, 5:30 breakfast, and then they come and tell you to get off the yard at 9:45 for lunch, and then they come
9:45
Yeah.
a.m. for lunch.
Yeah, they take you off the yard because they got to count you again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
so you
then-
get a count at 5. You get another count at 9.
Okay, at 9:45,
9:45.
they're gonna count you again for lunch.
The 45 matters.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, then at that time they take you to lunch. Then they take you back to the yard, back to the house, and to count you there again, really on the slide. And then you go back to the yard to 3:45. You come back in, and then they say you got the president count coming. Get your ass up and stand up and salute.
Yes, your stand-up count.
That's your salute for the president of the United States to make sure your ass is where you're supposed to be in place.
So they call it the president.
Yes, it's the
Count?
president count. It's the 4 o'clock count
I mean, they can be looking at you. You can be looking dead at them, but they want you on your feet
at 4 o'clock.
at attention at 4 o'clock, no matter what.
So
You gotta be standing
You
like
have to be
this.
standing.
So
Wow.
so today,
Not like that.
so
Not
today,
like that,
salute, but you have to be
okay, got
standing.
it,
so
okay,
today,
okay.
each time that I tell a black man in America, I never want to see you standing for 4 o'clock count. I'm telling him that everything you do, everything that you got, is an opportunity for you to keep it. And Ray, you got the opportunity to keep what you got, and you don't have to share with no white people in America because they gave you that license to yourself. Pat Cackler there to get her ass back in line and remember what 49% mean. 49% mean that the people
That's
work
the
for you.
minority. That's
Yes.
right.
They
Yes.
work for you. They
Yes.
don't work. You don't work for
We're
them.
gonna fight
right.
for
So
you,
you need to
Raven.
get that out of your head that they got any kind of seniority whatsoever over that 51%.
That's right.
It's against the rules to even think that way. And today I'm putting everybody on notice, and
That's
Whitey
right.
is telling the world that 51% mean you the ownership. In every corporation in America,
That's right.
51% overrules everybody.
That's right.
And this is how this life really supposed to work. And we in corporate America now. We not on the streets. We not listening to Cat Packer, who ain't never ran a business in her life, and somebody put her in a position because she was black and she was supposed to do the right thing, and she decided to kiss the mayor's ass and let the mayor do what he wanted to do and mistreat all the black people in America. Right today in California, we putting the mayor on notice. You gonna do it right, or we gonna vote your ass out of here.
Stepping on some toes, Whitey.
Do you understand what happened last night? Joe Biden just cruised through everything because white
Sure
America
did.
and black America. Joe told Joe, we tired of Trump. We're going to
That's
put
right.
you in a place so you can beat Trump. We can tell the mayor right now, If you keep
on
playing
now.
with us,
Mayor
we'll get
Garcetti.
your ass out of there like we gonna get Trump ass out of there. So stand up, be accountable, and do your damn job, and make sure these people get their 51% and without begging for it.
All
know
they
what?
got to do is vet. That we
With-
just want them to vet, right?
With this social equity thing, just as the social equity applicant, I believe that we are not successful unless we reaching back and helping our people. It doesn't mean when I got that, I'm telling you, for the first 3 days, I wasn't even feeling no different. There was no collar pop, none of that, till I came into them rooms and seen all my people disgruntled and hurt and in pain. And then I said, that's why you gave it to me, God. Because you know in my heart who you created me to be. Not because I'm such a great, good person, but who you created me to be. I'm a servant. So I'm naturally going to want to help my people. And that's why you allowed me to be. I was the first black in our group to get it. Right? So immediately, though, the responsibility came.
Yes.
That's right.
We say, to whom much is given, much is required.
That's right.
Immediately, it was responsibility. It wasn't about me going and trying, none of that. It was just about how am I going to do best for those who come up after me, so then they could see what it's supposed to look like. If I could do that, man, I done did what I'm supposed to do. Because now you don't have no excuse. No excuse to not, you ain't open up no community center? Are you serious? We're going to strip that from you. You ain't going to make a dime around here. You ain't did what? The old women ain't getting no grocery? Man, you ain't got nothing coming.
It's your
You know-
job to do your job.
That's it. That's what I know for a fact.
You know, and when you walked in a room with us at the Green Believers, you asked the question like, who is Whitey? Who is the Green Believers? And we sit back and we tell everybody one thing that everybody can respect. We only here to help.
That's right.
We don't want your license. We just want you to be able to have a license, run your business, and be in peace with yourself. And you're going to make the right decisions because the decision is yours only to make. And if anyone think that they can make a decision for another man, they got to be
Can't
out
do
of
it.
their head.
I want you to hire a few people though. Right?
Oh, please, come on. My
I do.
dad-
I do got what I got. A few people that need to be
The
hired.
jobs that I've had.
I got a few people.
Before all this, I'm telling you, I was working on Skid Row. I lived on Skid Row for 7 years. Came straight out of the spot. They put me in a big hotel room, and I thought I was in a mansion because I just came from an 8x10.
Yes,
you know.
I feel
So
you.
I was like, man, what? I got my own shower too? Oh, but I ended up going back to college, got my degree. End up housing homeless people, end up having a job as a job developer for only homeless people. Do you know how hard it is to get a homeless person a job?
Yeah.
I had to build relationships with business owners so they could take my reputation and give the person a job and just say, I know you got this person trained. I know they're going to show up on time. So now you're dealing with my reputation, so you better be to work on time. Because I done got you a job where you couldn't even keep your resume clean.
I like what
you know
you
what I mean?
said, yeah.
And so the type of work that I did was only work that was applied to me as the person that I was before.
So
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this to you. You're gonna laugh. Everybody know that I'm gang related. We're not gonna close the door. I'm gang related on both sides, and the other sides too. I'm street related. I'm a street dude. And my team walked up to me. I haven't seen them in 30 years. They said, Whitey, we need to get a black experience going on. We need a gang conference with you helping lead this gang conference because you got enough respect from everybody to sit here because in the 80s, everybody ate under your regime. I said, of course. They said, can we make that happen? I said, of course. So right today, I'm putting notice to all the big corporations in America. If you want to hear some experts talk about the inner city action and the black experience, you can come down in LA on July 28th. We're getting ready to send bolos out around the world, and you have an opportunity to sit back and listen to intellectual property being handed out for you to learn the real truth around the black experience, from prison to the streets to homelessness, to understanding what it took to be a man and what it took to be a gang member and what it took to love each other as we love ourselves. So you guys have an opportunity to listen to Whitey and all the rest of the people have this conversation with the world. And you're going to see that the experts that you guys been dependent on to give you the real knowledge, They never been experts at all. They get third, fourth hand information. So again, when we talk about USC, UCLA, Harvard, and the rest of these universities, Yale, Lehigh, and we're gonna keep on Colgate, they got an opportunity to come and sit down and have this conversation
And
with
get
us.
the real deal. The Black experience. Be authentic.
And again,
July 28th.
this is the cannabis show, and we got Rabe on here, and he's experienced the Black experience when white America want to take everything from him and make him this a doormat. So think about what we be saying on this show. We have topics on all different events, and it's our job to do our job.
We're going to have an author. We're going to have lots of book signings because we
Oh, yes.
we have a book club and an
My
authors
Life in the Sunshine.
round table. My Life in the Sunshine, Nephew Robertson,
You know.
and all of Ira and
got
Alex,
Ira coming up.
true crime stories.
Yes, it do. We got
And
we got
I'm
Hang
sure
a Nine-
Raven will be
Hang a
writing
Nine-
about
Hang a-
his experience as a social
sure.
equity top 100.
Yeah, Hanger 19, Hanger 19.
Hanger 19. Oh, yeah.
Teamer.
That-
I know book.
that's the
You know, this
trilogy,
is new
right?
book.
In the
That's
3-part
it.
series.
And this
Yes.
what we do. This what we do.
That's
for
how
the
we making
cannabis
our
show.
money. We just selling
He
our
has
stories.
the most interesting
Everything.
story I've heard in a long time, and I don't
Yeah.
know why.
This
I
is-
don't know why
Zip.
it's not
you
in the
talk to
pages of
me
a book.
Well, he's
setting
one of your
book up.
candidates because you guys are going to be doing a how to write your own story. That's going to be one of our programs as our community reinvestment, social enterprise, and helping to put our men back in the right man space, So
Yeah.
really excited, and we definitely got to get your story.
Yeah.
Raymond, we're not letting you off the hook. Green Believers will tell your story if we don't do anything else.
Well, that's a big thing because
We're going to tell the story.
we got to tell our story because he's telling his story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
All day, every day.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you know, I'm telling you, it's coming from where I was at. I say I was on vacation because
Speak up in the mic.
I took that opportunity to learn so much about myself, which allowed me to help other people. I started programs on the yard that as soon as they got off the bus, they were able to start working on what they was going to do for the next 5, 10, however many years they were going to be there. Teach them. My first thing was teaching them how to read and write. I took some classes so I could become a tutor. Because first when I got there, I was like, everybody I hung with was lifers. I didn't deal with nobody else. I didn't want to play no games, none of that. And I told them, I said, man, I ain't even coming out to yard. I don't want to deal with none of these cats. They can't teach me nothing. They said, what about what you can do for them? And that changed my whole life. That changed my whole life. And so when I started fixing myself, I realized it could work for other people.
Yes.
Right.
And then because I had a street reputation, I didn't have those problems with people trying to push up on me or none of that. But what I did get, I got respect from everybody that was running the cars because they knew that my heart was sincere. You know what I mean? I'm not running, but at the same time, I'm trying to get you to think. Because at the end of the day, the cats that I was dealing with was never going home. And their whole thing was they was living through us. What you going to do when you get out?
Yes.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean? And so
Vicariously, yes.
and so
Wow.
I had to understand that once again it was about responsibility, because some of these brothers had their problems when they was 15, when they were still kids. Now they're in their 30s and their 40s. How you gonna be hold somebody to something that they did when they was a child when their
15.
brain wasn't even developed?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Now they men and they seeing their follies, their mistakes, and they're giving back. And so that's why I'm so adamant about giving back, because to me, you're not successful if you're not taking what you've been blessed to survive and give it back to somebody else to make it easier for them. You're not successful.
Say, Ray, that's what I tell everybody every day. And a whole lot of people get lost with me, but they understand me. If you cannot find faith in somebody else, you can build some faith in them by living through you. Because a whole lot of people look at me and they say, Whitey, what do I do? You do what I do, duplicate what I did. You got everything you need. I'm going to give you the rest of the jewels you need to go out there and reach every platform you want to live on. You're going to be on center stage for the rest of your life. And this is what we want you to do. We want you to be special. But again, I'm from Whitey's Enterprise. It's time for me to sign off. I don't talk too much.
This was a
today.
great show. Thank you
Man,
so
Give me
much,
1
Raven,
second,
for
White.
coming
I wanna
in.
show-
Yeah,
this
give
is
us a closing
this is
remark.
me speaking for the governor at the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't really like him, but he was Governor Schwarzenegger. But some guys from
Show it on
Obama.
your
I don't know
screen.
where's
Right in front of you.
Oh, okay, let me see. Okay, so some guys, you got to turn it to where it's large.
You gotta flip it forward a little bit.
It switches up.
Turn it sideways, move it forward a little bit.
Well, it's
Some guys
okay.
from
We only got a
Obama's
few
camp
minutes
came
left.
downtown on Skid Row.
Yeah.
And we were showing them all the programs that we were doing downtown, right? So this guy is a brother working for Obama. He told the governor's office, "I want this guy to speak at your next event in San Diego to the guys coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan." But when I showed the picture to my friends, they see me on this podium behind this thing with the United States seal and all that. And they just laughing like, "Man, what if they knew who they was talking to or listening to, they would get you off that stage." I said, the funniest thing about it, they know who they listening to. They know my background. That's why they got me up here, because I showed that the programs work. I showed that if you want it, there's nothing that can stop you. So I took advantage of their board of governor's fee waivers to go through college. I didn't pay a dime for that. Everything that you said that you had to offer me, I'm taking advantage of that. And for now, if with this cannabis industry, we have the same opportunity to have our own board of fee waiver. We got so much money involved in this. We can set things up for our own people that want to do it, to do it. I mean, we got some kid ain't even been born yet that's going to change the world.
That's right.
Coming from us.
Yeah.
That's
how it's
right.
gonna be, baby. That's,
That's
how it's
right.
Gonna be.
That's
I'm
right.
with you 100%.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much. This is, if you just catching the end of the show, we're at the end of the hour. I hate to go because this was so awesome. You can check us out. Check out Raven. Check out the Green Believers, Whitey, Alex, Ira, our whole team, Whitey Enterprise and
book
Green
up.
Believers.
Make sure you guys go get Hanger.
Make sure you get the
19.
books.
Go
Get the
Hanger
books.
19 by
Get
Byron
the
Tiller.
books.
You got to let it down something. You got to make sure you get these books. These books is here. We got them. They're about South Central LA. They talk about the rest of the world. Come down. Enjoy.
Yep. We'll
This
be
right
there with
here.
you. And we'll
This-
contact you about how
Green
you can
Believer.
get connected. The Green Believers
And Whitey's Enterprise.
and Whitey
And I got
Enterprise.
Cheryl, the boss of all bosses.
Man.
I work hard. They work me hard, y'all. Can you imagine being
Ira,
me?
I got
That's a good
Ira
It's tough.
Tillman. I got Alex Townsend. I got Lawrence Robinson. Come down, buy that book. Go on Amazon and pick them up. They there.
Yeah, check it out. Thank you, and we'll be back next week. If you have any comments or you want to join our group, check us out on our website, thegreenbelievers.com, and we'll see you guys next week. Every Wednesday, we're here.
Thank you, Whitey and
2
Cheryl.
o'clock.
You're always
You're welcome. Thank you, Raymond.